You know the action hero. His name is basically a synonym for bone-crunching, Aikido-fueled blockbusters. You know the Supermodel, an absolute icon of 80s and 90s glam. But you probably don't know the fighter. You don't know the story of how their daughter, born into Hollywood royalty, decided to turn her back on all of it to chase a dream that almost broke her. A dream that lives and dies inside a wrestling ring. This is the story of Arissa LeBrock and how she went from the runway to the ropes. To really get Arissa LeBrock's story, you have to understand the massive shadows she was born into. Her father is Steven Seagal, a 7th Dan black belt in Aikido who wasn't just playing a tough guy on screen. He was a legitimate martial artist who brought a whole new level of brutal realism to Hollywood. His movies, from Above the Law to Under Siege, were a huge part of action cinema for a generation. Her mother is Kelly LeBrock, the supermodel and actress who famously starred in the classic film Weird Science and became a cultural icon herself. This isn't just a famous family. It's a wild mix of real-deal combat skill and high-fashion stardom. That kind of legacy comes with a blinding spotlight and a mountain of expectations. For Arissa, the easy path would have been to just lean into the fame and become another celebrity kid in Hollywood. And for a while, it looked like that's what she would do. Arissa built a successful career in high fashion, but she did it her way. She became a well-known plus-size model, landing magazine covers and working with major brands. She wasn't just showing off clothes. She was a powerful voice for body positivity and self-love in an industry famous for its narrow standards. She even showed up on the reality series Growing Up Supermodel, a show that was literally about being the kid of a famous person. She had a platform, a message, and a career that was taking off. So why walk away from it all? Why trade the glamour of photo shoots for the bruises, bumps, and often gritty world of professional wrestling? The answer was hiding in plain sight, in the side of her heritage the world didn't see on the runway, the fighter's spirit just waiting for its shot, the fighter's calling. While the world saw a model, Arissa was developing a totally different set of skills, ones that connected her straight back to her father's roots. She wasn't just messing around with martial arts. She was committed to one of the toughest combat sports out there, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Training at the highly respected Paragon Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing Academy, she wasn't just getting in a workout, she was competing. And she was good. This wasn't some vanity project. Arissa earned a silver medal as a blue belt at the IBJJF No-Gi World Championship, a huge accomplishment that proves her dedication and athletic talent. This wasn't the daughter of an action star playing make-believe. This was a legit combat athlete building her own name through pure hard work. That unique combination, a model's undeniable presence and a BJJ practitioner's toughness, made her a fascinating prospect for the world of sports entertainment. And it didn't take long for the biggest name in the game to take notice. In December 2019, the call came. Arissa LeBrock was invited to an official WWE tryout at their world-class performance center in Orlando. This was it, the moment of truth. The WWE tryout is the stuff of legend, a multi-day physical and mental meat grinder designed to push athletes to their breaking point. It's where dreams are made or completely crushed. With her background, Arissa had a real shot to prove she was more than just a famous name. She was ready to step out of her parents' shadows and into the ring. She was ready to prove everyone wrong. And then, it all fell apart. The dream hit a wall, hard. While the exact details of what happened have been kept private, the result was a major setback. Following her WWE tryout, her wrestling ambitions came to a sudden, heartbreaking halt. She didn't get a contract, and the momentum she'd built seemed to vanish overnight. Imagine how crushing that must feel. You make the massive decision to chase this wild dream. You put yourself through one of the most demanding physical tests of your life, standing on the edge of a new chapter, only for it to slip through your fingers. This wasn't just a small stumble. It felt like a total derailment. What followed was a spiral into what Arissa herself has called a dark and difficult place. The physical recovery from any setback is tough, but the mental and emotional toll can be so much worse. It's a time filled with doubt, frustration, and that nagging question of, what if? In an incredibly honest moment, Arissa later revealed just how bad it got. She said, "When I got the call from Dustin, I realized that I had become comfortable in the darkest, worst place in my life." Think about that for a second. It's one thing to be in a dark place, it's another to get comfortable there. It suggests a kind of surrender, a quiet acceptance of defeat. The fire that had pushed her to the WWE Performance Center was flickering out, and her dream looked like it was over. Just when it seemed like the story was over, the phone rang. And on the other end of the line was a second chance from a wrestling legend, Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes, known to millions as the unforgettable Goldust in WWE, is wrestling royalty himself. He knows the pressure of a famous last name better than almost anyone. Now a respected veteran coach in AEW, Dustin runs the Rhodes Wrestling Academy in Texas, a school focused on shaping the next generation of wrestlers. He saw something in Arissa, not just her famous parents, but her raw potential and the passion that had been buried. That phone call changed everything. It was the spark that reignited the flame. Arissa packed her bags, left California, and moved to Texas to dedicate herself completely to becoming a professional wrestler. This wasn't the polished, multi-million-dollar WWE Performance Center. This was a classic old-school wrestling school, a place where you pay your dues with sweat, grit, and humility. Training under a mentor like Dustin gave her a new kind of legitimacy. Dustin himself praised her drive, telling the Sports Guys Talking Wrestling podcast, "She's come off of modeling in California and things like that. She's doing a great job, but this is only the beginning for her." He saw the fighter that was hidden beneath the injury and doubt. He saw a wrestler. He even predicted, "Pretty soon the whole world's going to be talking about Arissa LeBrock." Her comeback moment finally arrived in March 2023. At a student showcase for the Rhodes Wrestling Academy, Arissa LeBrock made her official in-ring debut. There were no global TV cameras or major headlines. It happened in front of a small local crowd of people who understood the blood, sweat, and tears that went into that one moment. As she stepped through those ropes, she wasn't just the daughter of a celebrity anymore. She wasn't a what-if story or a model trying a new hobby. She had overcome a massive setback, battled through crippling self-doubt, and climbed out of the darkness she had grown comfortable in. She was, finally, a professional wrestler. Full stop. She paid her dues, fought her way back from the brink, and stepped out of her parents' shadows and into the squared circle, completely on her own terms. Since that debut, Arissa has been quietly and steadily growing on the independent circuit. This is where wrestlers really learn their craft, a world of long car rides for little pay, performing in high school gyms and local halls, all for the love of the sport. It's the ultimate test of passion, and Arissa has jumped in with both feet. Her story is a masterclass in resilience. She's the daughter of Hollywood royalty, who chose a path that demands a totally different kind of toughness. She built one career in modeling, became a legitimate martial artist, and then clawed her way back from a devastating roadblock that nearly ended her dream before it even got started. The jump from a fashion runway to a wrestling ring is one of the most extreme career changes you can imagine. But for Arissa LeBrock, it was more than that. It was about reclaiming her own identity. She proved that the fighting spirit she inherited wasn't just for the movies. It was real, and it was all hers. She refused to be defined by her famous name, her past career, or the setback that almost stopped her for good. Her story is still being written. The Indies are the proving grounds, and the big leagues of WWE and AEW are always watching for the next star to break through. Arissa has the pedigree, the look, the athletic credentials, and most importantly, the proven heart of a fighter. She has stared down failure and refused to back down. The question now isn't if she will make it to the top, but when. Her path has been anything but ordinary, full of wild turns and tough breaks. But through it all, Arissa LeBrock has proven one thing beyond a shadow of a doubt. She is a fighter, through and through, and her next chapter is set to be her most exciting one yet. What do you think is next for Arissa LeBrock? Could you see her making a splash in WWE or AEW? And who would be your dream opponent for her? Let us know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story about one of wrestling's most incredible comeback journeys, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories from wrestling's next generation.